Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Vegan Outreach, and there are several ways in which you can help me, help them, help the animals. First, consider donating to our fundraiser here on Twitch. We've actually already reached our goal of $10 thanks to a donation by Wolf Acts 2. But we can always exceed that, so please donate if you can. And if you can't, just watch my streams this month and bring your friends, because I'll be making a donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count here on Twitch. You can also find links to Vegan Outreach in the chat for this stream, in my About section on Twitch, and if you're watching the YouTube recording, there should be a link in the description there as well. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for more illustration work, so I am picking right back up where I left off yesterday, working on this Maginaturalist sketchbook piece. The title of the magical creature we're illustrating this time is Gaasyendietha. I've seen this creature described on the internet as the Nessie of Lake Ontario, which I love, so I am going with that for my description. And we are working on adding the last really dark areas using Photoshop, something I decided to do in a previous piece as well because it saves time and supplies, and both of those equal money. So I'm saving money here, but it's ultimately still going to have a very ink on paper look, because the most important lines, the ones where you'll see that texture from the ink on paper, they were actually done with ink on paper. So I'll still have the overall look that I want. So what I left off doing yesterday was having the black layer here at about 50% opacity, and I'm erasing away areas where I don't want the black. So I'm going to jump right back into that. In order to do so, I have to move my keyboard and mouse over to my right, and then I can pull my Cintiq tablet monitor down sort of into my lap, and now I can use my stylus to continue erasing. Oh wow, the Streamlabs auto message didn't have a weird question mark or $sign or some symbol at the beginning of it. Amazing. It's amazing when it works the way it's supposed to. Alright, where I left off yesterday was Gaasyendietha themselves. And we need to erase all these flames around them and their actual body. So just continue on with that. I'm using this eraser that has a texture to it so that hopefully we'll end up with a similar textured feel, even in the areas where we're actually adding visual information digitally. And at the end, because I'm using this textured brush, I'll go back if I remember. I don't always remember my own process, but I'll go back and add this effects stroke layer so that I can make sure I actually erased everything. That'll help reveal any stray pixels that I neglected. It looks like right there I erased a little too much, so we'll come back in with a brush tool. Back to the eraser. And I was saying this on last stream yesterday, I love erasing digitally. It's so satisfying, such a satisfying process. So even though it's time consuming, oh, all this is flames, so we can just erase all this. Even though it's time consuming, it's so satisfying. And the reason why I chose illustration and writing as my profession is because I love it. So even if it takes me extra time, and yes, time is money, as I said earlier, but I'm not just interested in money. I'm interested in spending my life in ways that make me happy. So erasing this makes me happy. I don't know if there actually is a faster way to do what I'm trying to do anyway. It's even the sort of AI-powered special erasing tools that Photoshop has. They still don't quite understand what I'm doing. Which is probably good, you know. So many people are trying to just make professional artists obsolete by building AI tools that can do the same thing for free. This kind of sucks. But it's interesting because right now it's not exactly putting people out of jobs. I mean, maybe it has done for a few, but it's not widespread, and I think that's because the people who are using AI in place of illustration, I think, are probably the people who can't afford a traditional illustrator in the first place. So they can't afford to pay an illustrator a living wage, but they can afford to pay $100 a month for an AI generator subscription kind of thing. That's just my personal theory. I don't have any information to back that up, so don't. Oh, Sarah, hello! Wow, thank you! Thank you so much! I'm waving at you with my cursor. It's not very visible. Ah, hello, bestie! Subscribe for 17 months. Thank you so much! Awesome! Thank you. What a great way to kick off this stream. I know I was getting into some, I don't know if you're hearing my sort of doom and gloom, thinking about stuff as a professional illustrator and a professional storyteller. So you help me break out of that. It's like you subscribed and you're like, don't worry, I got your back. That's kind of how I feel right now. Yay, so glad you could join me again today. I'm so happy. How are you? I don't know if I asked that already. I know I ask a barrage of questions when someone pops in because I'm just so happy. And then a lot of times people don't even answer because I've asked so many questions I think it's too much. And they're like, That's kind of the vibe I get. Which is totally cool, it's fine. Nobody has to answer anything I ask. I'm just being friendly. I'm trying to express my appreciation. Oh, good. It doesn't make me feel bad. It just makes my chosen career path even harder, I feel like. It's already hard enough. I've been watching, my husband sent me this lecture series that Brandon Sanderson is publishing on YouTube for free. This is awesome so far. I've been watching the first video for the past couple days. And he made an excellent point today in this part of the lecture that I got to. Said that maybe at best of the people taking his class, the class that he's lecturing for, 1 in 20, if they stick it out and really work hard for the next 10 years, would be able to make a living off of writing. And then he said, if you were to say that in a computer engineering class, everyone would leave. If you were to tell everyone in some sort of really reliable career path course that only 1 in 20 of them, after 10 years of hard work, would finally be able to make a living off of it, they'd leave the class. They'd go find something else. They'd go study to be a doctor or a banker, you know? But that's how it is to be a professional creative. So it was a nice reminder because I feel like I'm doing all the things. I'm checking all the boxes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's AI. Yep. But the thing that's silver lining here, what got me on the topic of this, is I was talking about how I'm manually erasing all of this right now. And that maybe there's some faster way to do it that I don't know. And then I thought maybe there's not a faster way. Because when I've tried to use the little AI-powered erasing tools that are in Photoshop now, a good portion of the time it doesn't know what I'm trying to do, and I have to do it manually anyway. So what I'm getting at is it's not hopeless. It's not hopeless, but it's just another thing making it harder. And already difficult to make a living, because I'm definitely not making a living right now, not by a long shot. Not by a very, 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 very long shot. But that Brandon Sanderson lecture refilled my hope meter. Because I was like, yes, I'm doing it right. I am doing it. I'm doing the work. I'm treating it like a job. And I'm not giving up. It seems like the real key is to not give up. So I won't give up. Yeah, and it's so sad because it was already like that long before. It was like that when I first started sharing my art on the internet, in junior high school. It was already like that. People not appreciating how much work that goes in, and they'll just take your image and do whatever they want with it because it's on the internet. If it's on the internet, it's free. That's what the mindset has been from the beginning. Even though that's not even legally true, much less morally true. But yeah, now with AI, though I did see someone shared an article, I don't know if it was you or a fellow artist friend or who it was. Someone recently shared an article saying that a lawsuit has been won in some case against AI. So I have hope that we will get our copyright laws. Actually, I don't even think it's the laws. The laws are fine, but the interpretation of those laws needs, we need the precedent to be set so that it can be interpreted in ways that protect people from AI. Yeah. Oh man, exactly. You just gave me goosebumps because that's exactly what it is. And what you are doing, making a quilt, that is just as much a creative pursuit. Like in the most literal sense, create. You created it from nothing. And then people are like, well, I can get a blanket twice this size for only $10 at Walmart. Ugh. Not to mention that the fact that stuff is that cheap at Walmart is because it's made with slave labor overseas. So it's not really something to be proud of, It's like, man. It's so hard though. It's so hard because I have faith that everyone at their core is actually a good person, and it's just there's so much information and you can't digest it all, and then there's a point where you just have to protect yourself, even if that means shutting out any information that proves that you're not doing the best for other people, you're making decisions that hurt other people or something, but it's just too much for anyone to comprehend. And so I also do, I'm not blaming any one person or anything. I'm just waiting. I'm sure that over time we'll get this AI thing sorted out, and yeah. You didn't share it. Wait, what did you share? Because I just said like 50 things, so I lost track of what I said, what you were saying. Yeah, I think with the... Oh, and your gum. It'll fall apart after a few washes, right? Which is extra sad, because if it is made with slave labor, that means that I don't know, it somehow makes it worse. Ugh, so bad. So bad. You tried to sell some quilts on Etsy for a bit. Yeah, I wouldn't really rely on Etsy. That's how I closed my Etsy shop. I made the most sales when I was selling to people in person, so that's now why I focus entirely on like I've started doing the pop-up markets. Because if you are face to face with someone and you can make a personal connection and they can ask you about it and chat about it, and maybe they share like a personal story and you connect over that, and that's so valuable just to me as an artist, to be able to make a connection with someone regardless of whether they buy anything, is so valuable. It makes what I do feel worthwhile. And then of course, if they're willing to spend their money to support me and purchase something, that's just even more. It really does psychologically and emotionally mean a lot to me, because a lot of people say money is the root of all evil, or they say things like that, but money is a representation of someone's life force. Someone worked to make that money. And so for someone to spend their life force, to believe enough in my work, or to have been moved enough by it, to spend a representation of their life force on it, really, really means a lot to me. And you make great quilts too. I still have. We use it every year when it's warmer. The quilt that you made for me. So I know you make good quilts. Oh, you didn't share the article. Gotcha. Yeah, I knew I said too much stuff and I couldn't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. It could have been, I have so many people around me that this AI stuff affects, for better or worse. I try to avoid the news on purpose for my mental health. And I am not ashamed of that, and I recommend it to anybody who struggles with how much bad news there is or how inflammatory the news is. Just turn it off. Don't look at it. People have said to me growing up stuff like, well, it's your responsibility to be aware of what's going on. I don't think so, actually. Not to that extent, not to the extent that I am suffering just... there's a term that I learned from one of my psychology books, which is the burden of knowing. I'm not going to self-flagellate with the burden of knowing just because somebody else tells me that it's my responsibility, and I don't think anyone else should have to do that either. Ah, same. It really does feel like your life is spent working. Yeah, because of the money thing. Money to me is just a symbol. It's a representation. I don't think it's good or evil. I think we've talked about this before. It's a tool, like a knife. Could be used for good, could be used for evil, could be used for completely neutral stuff. It's just a tool. Yeah. And it's actually always been that way. So I remember learning, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but in my memory, I feel like I learned that Benjamin Franklin tried to have a newspaper that was actually just facts, and it didn't sell, so we had to give up. So the news has always been inflammatory. It's just always been that way. It's entertainment. The news is entertainment. Sensational, yeah. That's the word. Sensational. Okay, I think I've erased everything that I needed to erase. So let's turn the... Having such a serious conversation today for this stream. Ooh. Okay. wonder if this is a little bit too dark, but how would I lighten it up? So it's got to be black and white. Maybe what I need, I wanted to add the stars and have them reflecting on the lake. So maybe once I do that, the stars will help show, oh, this is the night sky and it's reflecting on the water. But I do think I got everything erased. I'll do, oh, I didn't make the edges rougher. Let's do that first. I want to rough up the edges. I'm going to rough them up. So right now they're perfectly flat, and we do not want that. They're perfectly flat. We do not want that. I got my Dr. Seuss going on here. Oh, you're finishing up baby quilts for a baby shower. Is it your... Oh, and you say for... Then you can start on your... That's funny. So you're finishing up for someone else's baby shower, and then you're going to work on yours. What are they like, the quilts that you're making? Like blue or have any cute pattern? Color pattern? That's what I mean by what are they? I guess the size too, but if they're baby blankets, then that's kind of the size, I guess. Well, here I think I'll add a little bit of black so that it lines up with this line. But we need a textured brush. Maybe what I'll do is actually add texture instead of take it away. Or you can do a little bit of both. Then it doesn't look like any one single brush. One is browns, but cats and neutral. The other is forestry with greens and grays. Wow, those sound both very pretty. Husband's coworker. But I want to be mom friends. Ah, so that'll look nice. That'll look really nice for multiple reasons. That's so good when you can have those personal details and really make it match. Oh shoot, was I just coloring on the wrong layer? No. Okay, good. Whew. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the eraser. Oh, okay. Yay! I'll be looking forward to seeing those. You can always post them on the Discord too if you want, the Studio Mikarts Discord. I think you're on there. No one ever posts in the member art channel anymore. People are busy with their lives. I know some other art streamers do stuff like contests or theme of the month or something. But I feel like you've got to have a really big following for that to work. Because otherwise it's just sort of putting a burden on a very few people to make it successful. And if you have a lot of followers, say if you have 100 or a couple hundred followers, then if only a handful of people participate this time, then your contest will be a success. And the burden will be divided among many people so that not everyone has to participate every single time, you know, stuff like that. So that's why I haven't done anything like that. We've got a very small community here. So baby boy, so I'm glad I had brown cat. Others more bright and girly. Well, you never know. You never know what the personality will be. They might actually end up liking pink. Pink or girly. So that might be okay. But brown matches well with forest. So for that reason, I think that brown is a good choice. Pastel doesn't really go with forest, I think. Oh, you've been a member, you're a member, but you haven't been on Discord at all for months. I noticed that. I noticed I haven't heard from you in a while, but I knew that you're so busy with moving and everything else, so it's all good. Yeah, brown is a natural neutral color. Almost done. Here I think I will switch, because these lines are sticking out here. I'm going to switch back to brush and bring the edge out to line up. Almost done with the cat one, halfway done with the other. Makes sense. As you know, I do my illustrations in stages too. I do work on multiple projects, as I am doing now, but it helps me to be able to focus on one project for as long as possible. Mostly because I always have so many steps in any given project that I do. So it's easier if I don't have to come back and try to remember, okay, what was I doing here? But I've been having to do that with my onomatopoeia bees because it's so long, takes so long, that in order to get Patreon rewards out, I need to stop and work on this series, which is a big reason I started this series, so that I could have an illustration series that I can complete monthly for Patreon. But just as important, I really wanted to return to what I had before with Inktober, which was ink illustration practice. And I lost that when I stopped doing Inktober, because I don't have time or even the will to work on stuff outside of streaming times, to be honest. I'm not the kind of, I've talked about it before, I'm not the kind of artist that's like, I'm just drawing all the time and full of ideas and I can't, and they just flow out of me and I have to have a sketchbook with me at all times, anywhere, because I might be taken by inspiration. You know, some people are like that and it's amazing. I can't do it. I'm very methodical. I come up with an idea, then I flesh out that idea with just research, and I mean, you've watched my stream, so you know. So, if it's not on stream, it's very likely not going to happen. As far as my illustration work. Writing work is different because I can't stream that. I need to really focus and get in my head and just sit there and be quiet. You like to pin several at once because you have to make 4. Oh, that makes sense. So that's just a practical thing. taking a sip of my tasty herbal tea. It's like orange spice or something. It's really good. Have another sip. Yummy. Because if you had to make floor space every time, that's like a huge amount of effort. But if you make floor space once and then do 5 quilts at once or whatever, you're actually saving time because you don't have to do that 5 times. You don't have to do the clearing space part 5 times. Yeah, who don't get burnt out. Yep, I have learned really well my own creative process and work style, and sometimes it's hard to ignore when people tell you, well, you should be doing it this way or you have to do it this way, because people will say that. They've said it to me. They've said you're not doing enough or you're not doing it right. Professionals have said this to me, not just randos on the internet. Professional artists and illustrators have said these things to me. But I'm learning my own way. And I like my own way because I don't get burnt out. That's what I'm getting at. I have lots of opinions this week. I'm full of opinions. Gotta share them. Share them with the world this week, I guess. Okay, I put this effects stroke layer down on the black layer and then turn it back down to about 50% opacity. And now I can see areas where I missed spots. Yeah, I know how that is. I have to lint roll my bed almost every day because of the pet hairs. And I used to do it before just for cleanliness, tidiness, and visual appearance, but ever since I found out that I'm actually mildly allergic to dogs, I also do it to reduce as much as possible my allergies, my allergy symptoms, because there's no way in heck I'm not going to offer my home to someone who would have otherwise been homeless in an animal shelter. You know me. I will live with the allergies. And I will keep buying the pet roller sheets as long as I need to. I have to lint roller after the wash because there's so much dog hair. Yeah. Yep. But it's worth it. Even when earlier today, it was actually today, talking about this, Aoife, I had just finished lint rolling the hair off my pants, and then Aoife happily came in and rubbed right on my leg, right where I had lint rolled, and I was like, Aoife, come on. But you can't actually get mad because they're so cute, and I'm so happy that they care about me enough to come and rub on my legs or whatever it is. So it's like, I'll never actually be mad, but I'll be like, oh, I'll just lint roll it again. Lint roll it again later. Sketchyedio is here too. Hello! How are you? So glad you could join me. I was wondering if you'd be able to because I texted you back. And then like 30 seconds later, it was time to start the stream, so I wasn't able to look if you responded or anything. Yay! How are you? So glad you could join me live. Yeah, Sarah, they don't shed on purpose. They're not shedding their hairs on us to purposefully upset with the... they're not saying, hey, she just lint rolled her pants. Come on. Let's go fur bomb. That's not what they're doing. They're coming over and saying, hello, human mommy. I love you so much. I'd love if you pet me or played with me or anything. Anything you want to do together. That's what I'm up for. Just wanted to let you know. So, can't be mad. Can't be mad about it. Oh, is that why you is that the reason why you weren't getting any notifications? Because you were expecting it to come from YouTube? Or was it just that you were expecting me to go live on YouTube? Sorry about that. I know it's confusing for people because YouTube has a live thing now too. I don't know the actual history, but I have a feeling they started it after Twitch got popular. The YouTube live. Or maybe after the Facebook live got popular, but either way. Oh, both. What I've noticed with the Twitch notifications is that they will, after a certain amount of months that you don't check in. So say you get this notification from this one channel. Because this has happened to me. I'm describing my own experience. Eventually Twitch will just decide for you, oh, you must not be interested, so we're going to turn these notifications off, even though they're technically on. I think they have now made it so that you can opt in or out of that. But before, I don't think you had a choice, and they would just turn the notification off, which kind of sucks, because what if you're really busy for 6 months out of the year? But then the other 6 months, you can pop in. But then by then, you're not getting the notifications anymore. And so it sucks for you and for the streamer. So maybe that's it, but I don't know. That was just my own experience, because I was like, why am I not getting notifications anymore? And I discovered that. They're deciding what's best for you. I mean, it is kind of nice to have that as an option, but I don't like it when people who designed various different technologies that people interact with decide, no, people like this. The majority of people like this, so this is how we're going to do it. Doesn't mean that everybody likes it that way. It doesn't mean that everybody's life works with it that way, so it's really annoying when they don't make it an option. Just make it an option. Make it available, sure. So if most people like it, yeah. But just have a little tick box so that for those of us it doesn't work for, we can opt out or opt in. I didn't explain what I'm working on to Sketchbook. I am working on the next Maginaturalist sketchbook piece. This is my series where I'm doing black and white illustrations, mostly ink, but also some digital work like I'm doing now. I'm going through my Magical Creatures Encyclopedia and illustrating, to start, the first creature under each letter of the alphabet. So we're now on G, and this is Gaasyendietha, which has been described by someone on the internet as the Nessie of Lake Ontario. Sarah. Yeah, exactly. We'll force it on you until people complain and then entirely remove the feature. That's exactly how it goes, too. It's so frustrating. Can't we have something in the middle? Why does everything have to be all or nothing? Maddening. It's maddening. Okay. I'm now going to turn off the lines layer. And this is why. Because I figured there'd probably be a few spots still underneath, hidden by my lines themselves, because we don't need any extra black here at all. Yep. I guess you've never been able to catch this stream when I very first start. Because I'll have I get the encyclopedia out and everything. And read the entry to everyone. So yep, I'm using the same encyclopedia. So all of these come from the same encyclopedia. This is one of those projects that makes me really happy that I live stream all my art now, because I don't have to write stuff like that down anymore for my process. I can just be like, well, there's a video of it, so if I really need to remember what I was doing, I'll just go look at the video. It's super nice. Because before, I used to take tons and tons of notes so that I could remember what I was doing, what my thought process was. Because I need to know that if I'm going to create more pieces in the same series so that they fit together. For ference, I assume you mean reference. Yeah. Yep, A, B, C, D. And so you should have, for your Patreon rewards, A, B, C, D, E, and F. So you'll be getting G this month. This G, Gaasyendietha. Alrighty. I think I have cleaned this up nicely. I made the lines over here match a little bit better, so let's bring the opacity back all the way up. And something I wanted to do is expand the flames in certain areas because they're just so small. Look at this. So small. So I think what I'm gonna do is make a whole nother layer. So let's see. I need my keyboard real quick to do this. We're going to move into stage 3. Okay, that should have been... Okay, good. Sometimes it's not a typo and I just don't know what you're talking about, so I'm only just ever assuming. Sometimes people are actually meaning to put a thing that, since I don't know what it is, looks like it might be a typo, you know, but it's not. Okay, so I'm going to put these, I'm going to put all these layers into a new folder. And then we will duplicate that folder and merge group. So this is stage 1, just the scanned in image as it was. Stage 2 was editing to the point where we're at now. Now stage 3, I'm going to edit as it is. Not worrying about layers, we're just going to do black or white. I want to create a lot more light from this flame. So from the beginning, I wanted it to be the brightest thing in the image. We're pretty close to that. I mean, Gaasyendietha being bright makes sense because the flame is coming off of them, so they should also be the brightest thing. But in some areas like here, it's looking kind of weak. It makes sense that maybe around here where they're hitting the water. But up here, let's make these flames stronger. So, let's see. No, I'm on the eraser. I don't want eraser anymore. We're just going to use black and white. Just going to bring white in. I want these little spits of flame to be stronger. Ooh, and you know what? I haven't saved in a while, so let's do that. Gotta save. Gotta save. I'm going to try the charcoal brush. No. Not really liking this brush. Ultimate Pencil Hard. It was alright for the outside, but it's not... I don't like that either. I wish I hadn't lost my special brush that I made when I had to redo Photoshop. I'm glad I don't have to do that again, but it's annoying that... Let's see if I can... How do I edit the brush? There's some way to do it. Properties, no. There's some way to edit your brush. Brush settings. Yeah. So. Sketchy to you. Dread of working on something for hours only to have the power go out. Saving is a must for the paranoid. Well, not for the paranoid, but for those who really care about their time. The value of their time. I have to say, Adobe has really improved in the way they handle file recovery. It's gotten really nice. They have a really robust automatic save in case of emergency kind of thing, and it doesn't save up to the minute, but say you did work on something for hours and then the power went out, it'll probably save the majority of those hours and offer you the chance to save that recovery file the next time you open Photoshop. So that's really nice. It's not like it was back in the day. I have had... it's awful. No. So I'm just trying to make... I think I'll do some test swipes. So I don't like all this extra dirty looking stuff there. So I'm trying to change this so there's a little less of that. I want texture on the edges, but I don't want it to be so... Yeah, this is more like traditional dry media. Doesn't have quick save button. I don't know if Photoshop does, but I have programmed one into my tablet remote. So I've got one. I just click that little bottom button. Boom. Let's see what it says. Control S. So they've got a keystroke you can do. Oh, interesting. I don't understand what this is changing. Blah! It's so blurry looking. Ooh, no. What the heck? Whatever this brightness is. Oh, you texted me. Do I need to look at it this moment? Let me know. Contrast? This doesn't really do anything. Texture each tip. What does that do? Whoa. Oh, no. That's the opposite direction of what I want. Depth. Whoa. Oh, maybe if I make it more deep, it looks like it gets a little more... Oh! That's getting there. I just want textured edges. I'll make it like that. Oh! I think that's what I was looking at. What if I try it? Oh, wait, I don't want to save this mark here, though. What if I try it? Okay, I'm going to make it a little smaller. Oh, that's what I want. Look how it looks almost the same. What if I turn depth way up? What if I turn it up to 100? Let me undo that. I don't want to actually keep that. But it's not respecting my size jitter. Or size jitter, no. My... What is it called? This. Pressure for opacity. Pressure. Size. My Sharona. Oh, it's the quilt. Okay. Yeah, look at it after the stream. Well, I better not turn the depth all the way up because that seems to remove. Although it seems to just be gone. So some other setting must have taken it away. Shape dynamics. Brush tip shape. I wish I had saved that brush I made. I have to do all of this. I wanted to use my stylus. Maybe it wasn't really doing it in the first place. But I think it was. Yeah, it says pen pressure right here. But maybe it's because I turned size jitter all the way down. Oh! It's not. I turned minimum diameter all the way up because I was trying to figure out what's what. So let's see. Okay. Sweet. I did this. I did this. It's my fault. I did it. Okay, what if I want to just... That's pretty good. I think I'll actually turn it down a little bit more. Just testing it right now. But I think this is now what I want. Because the texture that this brush is now making is hardly any different than the natural texture of the ink on the paper plus the editing that we did to get the lines onto their own layer. Hooray! I finally did it. So, let's see if I can save this. New brush preset. Capture brush size and preset. I don't think that matters because I'll just change it. Include tool settings. Color, no. Okay, so what am I going to call this? I'm going to get my keyboard back in front of me. Dang squeaky chair. Sarah, you helped me remember to get the WD-40 and I did apply it today, but I can't figure out where the squeak is coming from. It's still squeaky. It did help a little bit, and I loosened one of the twisty knobs, and that seemed to help. So now my chair rocks back and forth really easy. Which I don't mind, it's fine. But I still don't know where the side to side when I do... Oh, it's not doing it now. Of course, when I want to tell you about it. But it's often when I'm moving to the side. There. I'm calling it Mika's ink brush. Boom. This time I saved it. I don't know where I saved it though. Oh. But I did save it. So hopefully if something happens, I'll be able to recover it later. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel because I'm streaming this out to the world. It's all public, and I'm talking, and it's like, it's like, oh. I'm gonna have to. Sketchy, I'm gonna have to. I don't know where it's coming from. It's a mystery. I am just going to have to take this chair, hang it up by a rope, and dunk it in a big pool of WD-40, and when it comes out, it won't squeak anymore. Maybe. Ah! I think after the stream, I'll do my best to remember to go find the file and then put it somewhere, the brush file. But I don't want to get too distracted. My stream time is my illustrating time. So, and especially now that I've created this brush, let's keep working with it. Look at it, it's so good. Yay! And after the stream, I shall go and look for it and probably move it. Either make a copy or move it, depending on where it is. So if I move it, it might forget the brush. So I might just make a copy. Oh, this is so good. Now I want to fix these because they've got that softer edge, and that's not what I wanted. I like this really hard, sharp edge that I created when I first digitized this piece. I noticed we have 4 viewers today. Thank you everybody who's watching and lurking. I always appreciate everyone who comes to check out my stream. Lurkers are always welcome. I love to chat, but if you don't feel like it and you just want to hang out, I'm always happy just to have you with me. Alright. This is really fun now. Now that I've got this brush done and I've refined these flames right here, I feel like I'm designing flames on a guitar. I feel like I'm decorating a Guitar Hero guitar. That's the actual memories that are flowing into me right now. Even though I never decorated it with like this. I just used the stickers that they had, but that's what it's reminding me of. The designs on those stickers. So these little thin ones is what I'm really wanting to work on. They're so tiny. We could have something more exciting. Gaasyendietha is supposed to be recognizable from meteors falling. That when a meteor is falling from the sky, it might be Gaasyendietha. So I want a really cool, strong flame. And here I'm adding areas where, you know, flames aren't solid. So we might see a little bit through. See what the overall effect is, though. It looks good really close like that, but it might be better. Yeah, I think it might be better to let's have the whole thing be filled in white, and then let's take away when we're looking at it zoomed out. I don't want to get distracted by what's realistic versus what's doing the best work telling the story, as those aren't always in line with each other. Here, I want to fix the tail a little bit. It's kind of cut off. Just, it's not ending properly. Here we go. I keep keep trying to reach up to do the eraser, and I have to remind myself, no, we're just working with black and white. No more eraser. Alright, that's good. Now this part I wanted to, when I zoomed out, I really wanted to add a little bit more. And I saw what it was looking like. Alright, we'll leave that for now. Just let's keep moving on. Strengthen the flames. What have I been reading, watching recently? Good question. We just finished yesterday Daredevil Season 3, which I did not like. I've talked about this at length, I think, in a recent stream, so I won't go on that rant again, but I was pleased at the way they did finish it, because there were some things that I was going to be really mad at if they left them loose ends, but still the way they did it was kind of like, oh, and by the way, you know. So I just finished that, but that means we can get back to watching Echo, because when we started watching Echo, I was like, you know what? It seems like there's already been a reference to season 1. At the time, I was in season 1 of Daredevil. So I felt like I wanted to finish Daredevil and then I would watch Echo. Although now I'm like, maybe I should watch Hawkeye again so that I could really put everything together. As far as reading, I just finished the first Earthsea book last week, I think. Yeah, last week. And then I'm reading the second Earthsea book now, which is quite different. It's a lot less jumpy. Not sure how to explain it. And it's a lot darker. And that's saying something, because the first Earthsea book was not a bright, bubbly book. How about you? Elektra was. She was barely in it. She was in season 2. I won't say too much in case anybody wants to watch and make their own decisions, because I like to be able to make my own decisions about stuff, and I like other people to make their own decisions and form their own opinions. But I didn't appreciate the way she was in season 3. That definitely was one of my... What? You know, like that. Again, I won't say more because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. But both a blessing and a curse, right? My husband has been watching, I believe, Jessica Jones and the Punisher. I don't like violent stuff, so I'm not going to watch those, because apparently they're worse than Daredevil. Or at least they're just as bad. And Daredevil, I just barely hung in there because I liked the character, our hero, enough that I was like, fine, I'll watch this horrible, gratuitous violence just to see what's happening with our lawyer vigilante. You know. But my favorite lawyer vigilante show is She-Hulk. I love that show. I've watched it so many times. It's so funny. Oh, seriously. It's one of the best. It's one of the best Marvel miniseries shows. Especially if you want something funny. There's so little purely humor shows. Everything is super serious, dramatic, and maybe there's a joke here and there. Sketchbook has read all of Berserk, Junji Ito's Uzumaki, watching Solo Leveling and Dragon Ball Daima. I've been watching Dragon Ball Daima too. I love it so much. The pace is so good. Every episode, something's happening. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Oh, wow, that was fun. What the heck? I am loving it. I am loving Dragon Ball Daima. It might be my new favorite Dragon Ball show, honestly. Even though it was Dragon Ball Z that made me fall in love with the characters, Dragon Ball Daima is the one where the show itself is the star. Something like that. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but there's so many messages here for me to read. Like Jessica Jones couldn't connect with Punisher. He healed too quickly, ignored injuries for normal humans. Jessica Jones was dark for sure. Yeah. I'ma just skip those. I think I'll be fine. I'll be okay. On my deathbed, I won't be lamenting that I no longer have enough time to watch Jessica Jones and the Punisher anymore. I don't know what other people think about She-Hulk, and I don't want to know, because I liked it. That's why I don't look at the internet. I don't look at other people's opinions. I don't look at reviews. I don't care. I want to make my own opinion and enjoy a show without, like, for me, spoilers is not just key things that happen during a plot. Spoilers is telling me all the characters that are going to be in it, or telling me what the tone of the show overall is, or what the message is that it's trying to teach you, or anything. I just want to see it for myself and experience it for myself. So I'm glad I did not see that, because I loved She-Hulk. It was so funny. It's one of my faves. It's up there. My 3 favorite shows, Marvel series shows: Moon Knight, Loki, and She-Hulk. All up there. Top tier for me. Yeah, I think about that. That Dragon Ball Daima was the last thing he worked on. It doesn't make me sad, though. It actually kind of makes me happy. Not happy that he's gone, but that the last thing he worked on was so good. Like, how wonderful that he could leave us with such a great show. I feel like it brings the lightheartedness of Dragon Ball, the first show, Dragon Ball, the first manga, with the heavy-hitting and super-powered Dragon Ball Z and beyond. And maybe the world building of Kai, but I have not actually watched Kai, so I don't know. Shame it's going to be only 20 episodes. I have mixed feelings about that. Because if a show can be told in 20 episodes and that's all it needs, then I think that that's all it should have. I really don't like things to be drawn out just for the sake of drawing it out, which I think was what happened with Dragon Ball Z. I'm pretty sure they're like, no, it's so popular, we gotta make it last longer. It's the Frieza Saga spends 20 episodes on a supposed 5-minute threat. So but on the other hand, if Toriyama Sensei had more to tell, that is kind of sad. Because he created one of the most beloved stories on planet Earth. Like, everybody loves Dragon Ball. Okay, maybe not everybody. I can't say that. No blanket statements. I can't say that. Probably not everybody loves Dragon Ball Z, but come on. So many people. It's in so many languages, so many countries. So if it is only 20 episodes because he passed away and couldn't finish telling his story, that is kind of sad. Yeah. And it's so interesting because Frieza, Boo, Cell, they all were drugged way out. And yet, they all had parts that I love. And Boo is actually my favorite enemy from Dragon Ball Z. But it's like, why does it have to keep going? Just tell the story. I'm glad that it's not like that anymore. That the anime industry and the manga industry does not seem to do that anymore. Some of it was, I think, because of you have to have an episode a week, every week, all year long, for years on end. Now they do the seasons thing, and that's nice. Spreading out the time, like, that is annoying. Yeah. If the talking takes more than 3 minutes, then more time has gone by, right? Yeah, in the Boo Saga, we got Super Saiyan 3. Yep. So there's good things, too. Good things and bad things. So, like, it's not a complete wash. There are things that people love that came out of that. Dragging it out. Trying to come up with stuff to fill it. Good things came out of that. They drag it out with filler fluff instead. What I've liked in My Hero Academia is when they've done a filler episode, they preface it and let you know, and they're like, please accept this filler episode. We won't be doing this all the time. We just really needed to give our animators a break. We hope you'll enjoy it. We tried to make it as entertaining as possible. Like, they have all this stuff ahead of it so that they don't want to disappoint you. Naruto, I didn't even finish. I got so bored of it, which is sad, because you know how much I loved Naruto in high school. I didn't even finish it, and I don't care to finish it either. It's like, I have other things that I can do with my life than finish watching Naruto. Same thing with Inuyasha. I loved it at the beginning. Loved it. It was so... And the music was so good. Same thing with Naruto. Music, so good. I still listen to the music randomly. Naruto and Inuyasha, just listen to the soundtracks. They're so good. But they drag on. Drag on and on and on. Sarah, filling some time with a hefty disclaimer. I think they even warned, I can't remember for sure, but I feel like they warned on social media too. So they would even warn you ahead of time. And they only had, I feel like they only had one actual filler episode, and then they ended up using those characters later. And the filler episode was actually really good. It was the one with the seal guy, the seal captain guy. And they came back and became actual characters in the show. And then other ones, they have had people have complained where they had some recaps where it's mostly going over what has happened so far in the series. But those didn't bother me because they were bringing up, okay, what are the most important points that you need to know now for what's about to happen, since this is the beginning of the next season and it's been a little while. And to ask someone to watch the entire 6 seasons again to prep themselves, you know. So those didn't bother me. They bothered some people, I know. My brother was like, it's just filler episodes, so I didn't watch season 7. Like, what are you doing? This is like the best season ever. You need to watch it. Sketchy finished the Naruto manga. Was it good? Did you enjoy it? No spoilers though, but yeah, maybe one day I'll be like, I'm in the mood. Yeah. Recapping every episode with the episode that happened last week. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. We're fine. Alright, so I've done all the flames going all the way down. Gaasyendietha. So I'm going to zoom out and see what the overall effect is. Let's zoom out so it fills the whole screen. Oh, it was worth it. That's good. So yeah, one day when I'm randomly craving some ninja story, maybe I'll do the manga instead. Oh, shoot, y'all. We're having such a good time chatting. We're way past time to take a break. Let's take a break. It's perfect because I just finished these flames too. Wow, what a great time. Thanks for chatting with me. This is a really fun stream. Just chatting about whatever. As I always say, I'm totally fine if people just want to lurk and chill, and I will just fill the air with my thoughts as I illustrate, but this is really fun too. Alrighty. I am going to put my Be Right Back sign on. I encourage everyone else to take a break as well. Get up and stretch if you've been sitting. Look at something off in the distance if you've been looking at a screen. Get a snack, a drink, whatever you need. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. everyone, I'm back. I hope you had a great break. I did. Got some stretching in. Looked outside. Gave my eyes a break. I'm kind of sad because the snow stopped falling. But, oh well, at least it snowed at all. It took 2 months before it finally started snowing properly this year. It's so sad. It's like at this rate we're not going to have winter anymore. It'll be cold and boring. No fun snow anymore. I gotta enjoy it while it's here. It's so nice looking outside. It's all silver, white sky, and snow covered everything. It's so pretty. All right, let's get back to this illustration. I'm feeling like now that I've finished strengthening the flames all along Gaasyendietha, that these little flips of flame coming off here and there, kind of weak looking, so let's make those bigger. So they might actually be bigger because there's so much flame overlapping here. As if it's coming off the body, it's coming off here, and then there's some overlap right here and here again. Make sure I'm on white. Plus, it'll just look more interesting if we've got a lot more white flame here. I really want this to be the brightest object in the scene. So we need more flame. Just join these ones. Whee! Becoming a single flame. Wouldn't the heat on the water create steam? It might do so. I've been thinking about what I should do at this point here. Because the flame might be going out, so that's why I've let it taper off right here. But it's also just the very first point of impact. So it might not even have had a chance to convert yet, and they're still just mingling. It's that very first time that the flame and the water are meeting. If I should add a little bit to enhance the eye here. Really show that eye. I don't know how much Gaasyendietha can control their flames. So maybe they purposefully just put them out as they go into the water, you know? I don't know. color. No. Mid-impact. Yeah, like maybe somewhere right here there might be something. But it's kind of hard to depict steam when I'm limiting myself to black and white. Not saying it can't be done. It absolutely can. But I don't want this little tiny area. This is only going to be 4 by 6 inches when it's printed. So maybe something like this. So I don't want to add too much to this area and make it visually muddy and hard to understand. So that's another thing I'm trying to keep in mind. But I definitely want to work on these areas where the water is being disturbed as well. Fix that up. The steam would come quickly, but slightly after impact, so it would be more lead to a fog. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that would be another cool fable-like explanation of a natural phenomena. So Gaasyendietha is not only potentially a meteorite, a falling star, but also if a sudden fog rises up on a lake. Well, on Lake Ontario. I like that kind of thing. Explaining natural phenomena with a story. Just looking it over and seeing what the overall effect is. And these little flames here still look kind of weak, so let's bolster them. Yep, that's what the ancestors did. Well, in fact, that's one of these is the Gaasyendietha is an ancestral story of the... I can't remember. The Seneca people who historically lived near Lake Ontario. That's where this story comes from. I have purposefully refrained from doing too much extra digging into the story outside of my encyclopedia, and that's because I don't want to get distracted going down the rabbit hole, as I always call it, when what I really want to do is just illustrate a story. So I'm just trying to illustrate the encyclopedia, what the encyclopedia says. I'll do some supporting research, but doing my best not to get distracted from the illustration itself by that research. So maybe Gaasyendietha does have more powers that the encyclopedia didn't know about. How's that look? Is that a little better? Yes. Now I feel like I want a little bit more down there. Say some deity did it. Yep, we humans love stories. I mean, that's why I picked storytelling as my career, as my profession. I love stories and I love creating stories. We love stories. earliest, I think... oops, no, I don't want an eraser. The earliest human writings, I believe, are stories. Extant human writings. I mean, who knows? People may have been writing for way longer than that. But what exists today that we can look at? Yeah. I love those cave paintings too. I think they're so pretty. Well, specifically the ones in the Lascaux caves in France. Those horses are just gorgeous. They're so beautiful. And somebody made that tens of thousands of years ago, whenever it was. Amazing. Is that real? Is that real? The oldest written thing was a customer complaint. Oh, I'm on the wrong color. Oh, white. Written in stone, so you know they had to be mad. They took the time to hammer it into stone, or they spent 10 years of their lives on this negative review back in BC 5000 or whatever. It would be today. I was shocked. I was doing it was a recording of a Christmas treadmill run so I use the iFit treadmill app. And they had a Christmas one, and it was naughty or nice, and the trainers on their treadmills had to say whether they were naughty or nice for a thing. And depending on their answer, the speed and incline would go up or down. That's why I like iFit, because it just automatically controls your treadmill and you just enjoy the ride. But I was shocked when one of the questions was, have you ever left a positive review online? And both of these grown adults had to say no. And I'm like, oh, this is the world. This is the kind of world we live in. People really do focus only on the negative, and they only put a review if they want to complain. Like, I only review if I'm going to leave a positive review. I follow the Thumper's mom rule. Or I think it's actually Thumper's dad, but his mom always reminds him, and he says, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say anything at all. So, it's like, dang. Oh, people have never said anything nice ever about a business they liked or someone who helped them professionally or anything. It's so sad. So negative. I mean, maybe they've never written a review, period. That's a little bit different. That's okay. But I have a feeling. I have a feeling it's likely that they've left a review. Just never a positive one. But I'll try to stay positive myself. Benefit of the doubt. Because it is a lot of work to write a review. I have not reviewed everything that I've really liked. So I don't expect everybody to review everything all the time, because your life is important and the way you spend it should be valuable to you. The museum is also home to the oldest written customer complaint, dated from 1750 BCE, written in cuneiform on a clay tablet, discovered in the ancient city of present-day southern Iraq. Or Iraq. Clay. So 1750 BCE is the oldest written customer complaint. Amazing. Clay is not as hard as stone, but you still got to put a little effort in there. They wanted it to last. I'm loving how these flames are coming along. They're just adding and adding. That said, I wanted to finish this today, but it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's okay, though. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Work on it some more later. Yeah, we still got 20 minutes, too. Actually, I think it might be nice if I take a break from the flames. I'm feeling pretty good about how they're looking. I like the balance now that I've gotten. Or it's not the balance, the weight that the flames now have, especially here where we've got the body doubled over, actually tripled over, coiled up here. So the flame should definitely be really big right there. And then the way they spark off of the end of the tail and everything. So let's take a break from that. I wanted to create another layer to add stars, and I just wanted to, I think I don't need to use my stylus. Lift my tablet back up. This time I want to make a different brush. Try not position my tablet better. Okay, there. That has some scatter, and just scatter some stars across the sky, and then we'll duplicate that layer but flipped and put it on the water. So for my brush, Mika's ink brush. I wonder if there is a scatter brush already available, or maybe I should just scatter my ink brush. Let's just do that. It'll be easier. Because then it'll have that same edge, I think. Scattering, and scatter is on. There. So we want scatter. Huge scatter. But how do I make it less? Control. No. Wow. Scatter on both axes. Yes. But I want it to be a lot thinner than this. This is very populated. Scale? No. Doesn't have to do its shape. Size. Angle. Roundness. No. Let's see. Oh, spacing. That's what we need. Spacing. Yay! This is what I wanted. So let's do size jitter a little bit so we can have some difference here and there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I'm gonna try this and see what it looks like. We're on a separate layer, so we don't have to worry too much. Okay, we need a lot more scatter, but that's really nice, and I like the size there. So let's get these scattering spacing even further apart. Lot more spacing, huge spacing. Ooh, here we go. Nice. Sketchy bringing us the history lessons. According to current knowledge, the oldest writing ever found is considered to be the Kish tablet, a small limestone tablet from ancient Mesopotamia. Hey, we just did Mesopotamia for... Oh, who was it? Before Fafnir. Ea. Ea was from Mesopotamia. We did Ea for E, which dates back to around 3,500 BCE. So that's like twice as old-ish. And features pictographic inscriptions representing an early form of cuneiform writing. Nice. Interesting. Thank you for that. I love that kind of thing. I love just knowing that kind of stuff. Wish I could get this spaced even farther, but this will have to do. Because this is at max. Can't really... And scattering is at max too. But it's probably fine. We'll just fill up the sky with stars. Fill the sky with stars. What's most important is telling the story, so it doesn't have to stop us from doing certain things, even if they're not necessarily naturalistic or realistic. Because what's naturalistic or realistic about a giant flaming salamander doing a cannonball into Lake Ontario? Nothing. Have they deciphered it? The Kish tablet's translation is unknown because its language has not been determined. Ooh, mystery! The tablet is written in an early form of cuneiform, and scholars estimate it may be Proto-Sumerian. Fascinating! So we don't even actually know. So what brought us to this, I was wrong. Because I said that the earliest writing is a story. But there's an even earlier writing than what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the story of Gilgamesh. Okay. So, we've got our stars. And the point is to show that this is a nighttime scene. So, it doesn't have to be realistic. It doesn't have to actually show the stars that we would see. What I want to do now is copy this layer, and we're going to flip it, and hopefully I can flip it the right way. Transform. Not the way flip horizontal, I think is what I want. Nope. I can't ever remember. Does it mean flip along the horizontal axis, or does it mean flip it so that it's moving horizontally? And I can never remember. So flip vertical is what we want. Or is it? Oh, it's not flipping it down. Okay, maybe it doesn't matter. I want it to flip down. And I thought it would move down. Okay, I'm wrong. Maybe it's doing what I wanted it to do. Ah! Okay. Flip. Transform. Okay, I'm watching two stars that are right next to each other. Okay, it did flip it horizontally direction, so I do want flip vertical. Whew. Because what I want is those stars to move down. And then now I'm going to get my move tool, hold down shift, and just drag down. So that these are in the water. And we'll just put them like this. We're going to erase some. Ooh, and that... Oh, I'm going to have to add some stars. Alright. So now I want to... I'm going to create a new layer just so I can see the stars. Just make it gray. And fill. We'll turn this one back on. Do I want to turn it back on? Because I want to erase some. At the very least, I want to erase this. Okay. Maybe I don't need that layer. What I need is my marquee tool. I'm going to bring the tablet back down. Not my marquee tool, my lasso tool, and I'm just going to lasso the area that I want to get rid of the stars from. Well, I'll lasso the opposite, and then we'll choose to invert the selection. Alright, never mind. I'm not going to invert this selection because that was easier. So now I'm just going to choose... Where's my delete button? This is my delete button. Oh, I'm not on the right layer. Whoopsie. There. Now we will do the same around here as well. So we definitely won't be seeing any stars where the water is being disturbed. Imagine doing this all without layers. You trying to make me cry? No. I think I could. I could manage if I had to. If I had to. Wouldn't be nice though. Layers are awesome. Love me my layers. So on purpose, I am creating a huge space where I'm going to delete these stars because the water is going to be disturbed even if we're not seeing a big enough disturbance for it to be depicted necessarily. Let me make sure I erase all the way down here just in case there's some stars down here. Okay, deselect. Do it on MS Paint as a challenge. So many people actually do use that, especially for, what is it called? Pixel art. They actually use that on purpose because the limited tools actually makes it easier to make decisions and to just get on with making the project. That would be hard though. I love my process. So now I'm adding a few more stars to this area because it was missing stars because of this tail. So now we've got the upstairs stars and the downstairs stars. Oh, looks really cool. Yeah, let's save this. I'm going to add back in a few. Oh, no, that's too small. Just a few. Oh, why do they have to be about the same right there? Jeez. Okay. Well, maybe I don't want to add them back. Maybe I actually want to, like, all along here as it comes out. Maybe I actually want to erase there. I just added those, but now I'm changing my mind. Let's make this a lot bigger. So what I'm thinking is that this light will be so bright that the little pinpricks of starlight that are just reflections on the water, which is also being disturbed, and so the light won't be perfectly refracted or reflected back. It will be refracted instead, or it will just be lost. Those wavelengths will just be lost. So I think that we shouldn't be able to see as many stars in the water. That's my theory. So I don't have a reference image for a dragon cannonballing. No reference photo for that. So I'm going to remove some of the stars that are... Oh wait, I'm not even on the right layer. Remove some of them that are really close to the land. maybe remove some that are really close to the tail too. With the same idea being that the eye can only process so much light. So like the reason we can't see stars most of the time, unless you have a telescope, I guess, in the daytime is because the sun is so bright. So with this flame being here, it would be blocking out the light of the stars that are behind its radiance. That's my thinking anyway. Oops. So I'm not used to this being on 2 layers, so maybe what I shall do now I deleted that part by accident. Let's see, how do I, oops, fill that back in. Now I'll do what I meant to do here. Whoops. Okay. Just wanted to use this to make sure there weren't any extra stars blocking. So is that one right there? Oh. Right. What should I do? Oh, wait, eraser. So hard to remember what I need to do on each layer for each. Ah, got it. Got it. Now I think I can merge this one down. Yes, eraser. Yeah, and we wouldn't see too many stars yet because here, this hill, that's what's bothering me over here. This hill should be reflected in the water, or at least the fact that it is blocking the starlight should be represented. I use my mouse to get the stars to look how I want. Maybe I'll bring a few back right there. Ah, I think that looks really good. Let me make it really small. Yeah, save. When it's looking real good, it's time to save. We only have a couple minutes left. I definitely wouldn't call this finished, but I'm so close to done that I might finish this off stream because there's only a few more things. I wanted to add spots to Gaasyendietha to show that salamander that we used for their form. I also wanted to rearrange these words here. Obviously, I don't want to leave this title like way the heck up here, and then these are not in the same order as they are in the other pieces in the series, so I just want to rearrange those. I might also want to add a little bit more hatching to this stuff that's in the background because it's coming across just as strong as the rocks that the Maginaturalist who is sketching this piece, that's the story of this. So maybe there is enough for another stream. There's so much to do and I haven't edited the water yet. So yeah, I think that I shall come back to this next week now that I'm saying it out loud, and that's why streaming helps me so much. helps me think through, oh, wait, there is a lot more than I think. So there's so much left to do on this. Maybe add clouds, put a hole through the verticality fell from the sky. That would be cool. I think it won't necessarily work with the angle, though, because I've got him coming just from the side. But if he was coming towards us, that would be awesome. Because we could have the sky hole, right? Like Marvel. A sky hole. And he's like, boom! And it's just splashing towards us. Yeah, I really need to work the water a little bit more, too. There should be way more, especially around here. There should be way more energy depicted. Sarah, oh yes, the spots. Yeah, I don't think I'll put as many spots. I think I'm going to leave the tail bare. So, because if we just add a bunch of spots, it's just going to look muddy. It's going to look like the background, because the background has so much going on. But we've got this nice, big, plump body here. We can add a few little spots going around, and maybe tailing off like boop, and then becomes no spots. That's my idea. Okay, good. Now we know what we're going to be doing next Wednesday. We are beyond time to call it a day. So I will be back tomorrow, as usual, for Chibi Friday. So sketchy to you if you're able to join me. Sorry about that. I just bumped the box that my mic is on, so I hope that wasn't loud. If you're able to join me tomorrow, same time as usual, I will be resuming work on your chibi caricature. So it would be really cool if you'd be able to join me live. No pressure, though. If you're not able to or you just don't feel like it, I would never try to put any expectations on you. Just letting you know. We're going to be working on her tomorrow. So I think today I am just going to end my stream. Not going to raid. I have a bunch of stuff I'd like to catch up on before it's time to get ready for dinner. So I'm going to do that instead. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today and all the amazing chat. It was super fun to talk about anime and all kinds of different stuff and just storytelling in general. I love it. I'm having really good luck this week with excellent chats. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Calling it good here. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then. But even if not, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching.